Tonight, join us as we talk about family vacations, Disney World travel tips, theme parks no-nos, and scoring the perfect road trip on it. And
now I'm on?
Yep, you're on.
Hello, everybody. So if you tuned in at 9, you got to catch a little bit of the Deacon on Al's show, and I hope that you'll be tuning in every week to hear Al. He is awesome, and you need to spend some time watching and listening and chatting. And you know how cool is that he gets to kick off his show with Deacon Harold and.
That's pretty cool.
9:30 with me. Yeah, so.
Note to self: get him an email before. I thought I had an email to him, and I sent it a while ago, but I guess something didn't go through. But sorry about the delay, everybody. But we're on. So
no worries.
You're going to be talking about basically a vacation, Disney. What do you?
Yeah, well, here's the deal.
All right.
So I like Disney World a lot, and
yes.
In fact, I want to talk. Let's just talk about vacation for a little bit.
Yep.
I'm putting my notes to the side. So just tell me if you're in the chat room, or if you want to pause and jump over to Twitter. You go over to Twitter or someplace on the web and pull your buddies over, because I want to know right now, what is your favorite vacation destination? I've already spilled mine, so tell me yours. And Kent, you're welcome to play along. What's your favorite vacation place?
We're going next year to Disney World, and that is my favorite. So I am totally on the same boat with you. That
yes.
is without a doubt. There's no question in my mind. I don't know. Especially with little kids and just growing up, it's memories and all that. Exactly. And I think that's part of what a great vacation is all about, is the memories and I don't know, but then you take that with the religious side and taking a vacation, and we do something and we remember. And I think by using a vacation as kind of a family vacation where you're saying we're together, and that's sometimes tough nowadays to be together. And I know by the time we're done with a vacation, you need another vacation, but we're together, and I think to be together is just a great part, and it's a great place. Nice weather. Love to be down there during the wintertime. So,
now the audio cut a little bit. When were you going down?
Oh, we're gonna go down next summer around June. So around June we'll be heading down.
Okay. So yeah, nice and sunny.
Yeah. So it'll be a good time.
We're gonna obviously we're gonna talk about Disney. I want to talk about Disney because I too enjoy it a lot. And now, did you go as a kid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's usually what we did.
Well, I got to go. Well, I went a couple of times as a kid, and I had so many memories from that I wanted to make sure that my kids got to go at least once. And so we've kind of made this, like every now and then, kind of like a pilgrimage. Sorts for us.
Right.
And we try to go to Disney every 3 years if we can. If we can't, we can't. But so that each of my kids, if I can get them there one time, then they'll get to go. Of course, the advantage if you're the oldest kids, you get to go more than once.
Right.
But yeah. So let me ask you this: when you've been down to Orlando, did you go to the Marian Shrine next to the theme parks?
No, I have not.
Ah, see. Okay. So here's the special secret Catholic trip tip.
Okay.
You need to go to Mary, Queen of the Universe.
Okay.
It's huge church. And it's really close to International Drive and all the shops and restaurants there near the Disney parks. So if you're flying in, it's a cheap cab ride over. If you drive in, it's a really short drive. and there's plenty of restaurants around if you want to eat later. But if you're going to be there on the weekend, you might as well go to Mass, because it is an obligation to go to Mass, even when you're on vacation. Don't forget that.
Right.
But pop down there, because it is really cool. They have an awesome gift shop. And I mean, if you've ever been in just a huge church, it's really nice. And of course, it's set up to honor the Blessed Mother. So why not go?
Yeah,
and
sure.
Spend some time going to Mass.
No, that's great.
And yeah, see, now Beth Ann's been there too, right?
What was that?
I'm looking at Beth Ann's. She's commenting on the chat, and she's been there. She said that the tourists keep it running. Does that mean that they fund it? I don't know. I went there, and there was the preacher that was there. The pastor had a really thick Irish brogue, and I love that.
Yeah,
because I love accents, and I've got one myself, not a brogue, but mine's more of a drawl. Yeah, that's a cool parish, and to have a church that big right in the middle of basically tourist central, in Florida, is really pretty spectacular. Anybody else want to weigh in on vacation spots?
Yeah,
even trolls, you can jump in long enough to tell us where you like to go.
Call in too. 440-536-3650. Yes, talk about anything. Please do. And I think another place that I'm going, and we plan on doing, are kind of, they're kiddie areas, but there's places that we can go that are holy and very. We went up to. We went up to Niagara Falls, and there's a couple shrines up there that we went, and they're beautiful. I mean, it's just amazing that what you can do and have a vacation, but then use, our beautiful, what God gave us, and all the gifts that He's gave throughout the world, and what we can create. That's the thing. That's the funny thing, is how much is created, so we can share. And right. And then all the statues. And everybody asks, that's the big thing that people ask about statues. Why do you look up to them? It's like an image, and how that. And you're seeing all these different beautiful statues are created at shrines. And you're just, all the saints are there, and the angels, and you just want to look up to them. Last night we were talking, and I kind of look at myself as Moses. And there's one guy that I look up to, and with what he went through in his life, and that's a great thing about going on a vacation. You can then plan the fun stuff, but then you can then bring in, like you said, you got to get the Mass. So
yeah, well, and the past two times we've gone down, we were actually traveling on Saturday, Sunday, so we had to we if you've ever used Mass Times, the website Mass Times, you can find a church anywhere, even in the South, in the semi-rural South, where we were driving through. We cut through Alabama to get from Tennessee down to Florida. And as we cut through the bottom part of Alabama, the place where we stayed, we were able to find a little church that was actually meeting in a school gym. And so we were able to get to Mass. So Mass Times, it's like masstimes.org, I think. But they can get you, they can find you a Mass, they can find you the church, and you can even put in some filters like, I'm looking for Latin, or do they have confession before Mass?
Yeah. No, that's a great tip.
So I encourage you to, totally use that no matter where you're traveling, not just to Disney World, because once you get to Orlando, you've got to go to Mary Queen of the Universe, because this is fantastic. Okay. Oh, there's a Mass Times app? I didn't even know that. So totally get that. I'm sure it's not on the Windows Phone. It's probably just for the Androids and the iPhone.
Right.
Go ahead and all you other people can get it, and the rest of us on our 3% population on the Windows Phone can just find we use the web and we use mass times. Well, you brought up a cool point, and it's actually one that I wanted to talk about, was traveling with kids, because I know sometimes when people travel, they would rather take a vacation away from their kids. And I understand why some people might want to. I mean, maybe they just get completely exhausted and they want to take a break. And I can appreciate that. But I want to just throw this thought out there. When we travel, we are dedicating a lot of resources, the resources of our time, the resources of our money, the resources of our attention to something. And especially when we have children in the house, we have an obligation to invest in our children. And I personally believe that if you're taking a family vacation, if you got $2,000, $3,000, $500, and you're going to use it on a vacation, include your children. Don't take that precious time where you're not working and your spouse, if your spouse works, and just spend it just the two of you. I understand anniversaries and things, but look, your kid is only going to be the age that he or she is that one time. He's only going to be 3 once. He's only going to be 4 once. Use that time. This vacation it's a luxury, folks. It really is. If you're going out of town on a vacation, that's a luxury. And whether you do a vacation out of town or a staycation in town, or just do things around the neighborhood, please spend time with your kids when you're not working. And it's something I had to kind of learn the hard way, that this is super important. You've got to spend time with your kids, and don't think that you can take 10 minutes and say, yeah, but it's a quality 10 minutes. Quantity. You are never going to, when you get old and retire, you're never going to regret spending more time with your kids, but you may regret spending more time at your job. You may regret spending more time occupied with a hobby. You will never regret spending time with your kids. And it's just like the deacon was talking about earlier on Al's show, that small steps. If you got a hobby where you go bowling every week, then maybe you don't play 3 rounds. Maybe you just bowl 1 round or 2 rounds and come home and put your kids to bed. I'm not trying to preach to anybody. I'm just saying it really makes the difference. And the more time you can spend with your kids, especially on vacation, the better off I think your family is going to be, and the stronger your family will be. And I mean, that's my 2 cents. Again, I'm not trying to be preachy. I've kind of learned from both sides of that situation. And I think the better way is to spend the time with the kids. And like Kent said, when you travel, you can find cool stuff, cool Catholic stuff along the way. Maybe if you'll take the time to look up shrines, or look up, even places where apparitions may or may not have taken place. America is full of cool Catholic stuff if you'll take the time to look. And why not stop at a shrine along the way? Maybe drive an hour or 30 minutes out of the way just to go see something cool. I would do that to see a large concrete peach on the side of the road. I would drive out of town to go see the largest mud dwelling. So why wouldn't I want to drive out of town a little out of the way to go to Our Lady of the Snows shrine near St. Louis, or to go to Mary, Queen of the Universe down in Orlando. Mm-hmm. These are special, cool places that you're not going to see regular. So take the time to do it. I really believe that it's worth it. And these are experiences that you can show to your kids. Now, I'm talking assuming that everybody has kids. I know that's not the case. Yeah. So if you're traveling with just you and your spouse, then take some time and make some memories with your spouse at some special and holy places too. I mean, it's something that you can do. I think you should.
Oh yeah.
The next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was, go ahead, Kent.
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to go back to Disney World. So, because I love Disney World, and there are plenty of shrines on the way to see what I call the rat. And if you're going down to see the rat, then you need to have some money saving tips. So guess what? I have some money saving tips for you. And this is the biggest secret tip for visiting Disney World in the whole universe. Here it is. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Research. That's the secret. Research. If you'll take the time to plan in advance, you can find some awesome deals. Now, sometimes if you go down to Orlando, say, then you can spend some time. You can go to allears.net. You can go to Mouse Savers. You can go to Intercot. You can go to touringplans.com. By the way, I'm not getting paid for this, but the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World that is put out by the people at touringplans.com, you need this book. Look how thick it is. Look at that. That is chock full of travel savings goodness, and not just saving money, but also saving time. The touring plans got their big kick from teaching people how to avoid the wait in lines by being strategic about how they visited the attractions. And so these guys became my Disney gurus. They became my advisors. And by studying, and I really did study this book. By studying the book, I actually learned a lot about how the rides operate, which I'm a big geek when it comes to figuring out how stuff works and how stuff is made. And I learned from the guide that there are tours you can take at Disney World where you can go behind the scenes, backstage, if you will, and see how the attractions work. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that part.
I've yet to do that, but that's on my bucket list. That and drive the tram when I'm a retiree. I want to drive the tram in the parking lot. Wave at everybody. Remember, you parked in Goofy. That's what I.
Well, it's kind of funny. My mom wants to. She's retired already, but she wants to actually head down there and be a kind of a tourist guide, kind of, and go around and do all the rides and just be a tour guide down in Disney World. That was her one of her things when she was going to retire. Yeah, that's great.
That will be my retirement. I'm going to drive the tram and drop people off at the ticket center, and that's what I'll do all day: wave at people and drive the white tram. Well, I did say planning in advance. There are enough resources on the internet that you can spend the time researching hotel rooms. And, if you'll spend the $15 it takes to get the book, they have a breakdown of every room in the park. So if you use their website, touringplans.com, you can actually see the view from your room. You wanted to know, am I going to have a scenic view of a tree, or am I going to be looking at a barricade? You'll know. And that's, I like that kind of stuff because I want to be able to save cash and to be able to weigh things. And, a lot of people say, well, should I travel a la carte? So book a room separately, then buy tickets, and then, try to find some other deal or a discount card for dining in and around Orlando. And I'm just saying, depending on what time of year you go, the answer is probably going to vary. If you go like you're going in the early summer,
right?
Depending on what time in the summer, you may be hitting Disney peak rates, but you may be getting in just before they hit the peak rates, so you'll save on your room if you're staying on property. Because I would say if you have the chance to stay on the Disney property versus staying off the property,
totally agree.
Give it a shot and see, because sometimes you can't stay on property. It's just peak rates on Disney property. It's 3 times what you'd pay just a couple of miles off of the Disney property.
But
the perks that you get.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, tell me.
No, I mean, our biggest perk is getting there. You can get there half an hour early on any park, I think, and then using the transportation systems of the bus and all the. I think staying on makes so much more sense. We've done off the property, but there's nothing like being on Disney
Oh,
to,
yeah.
I mean, you get there, you can get at least to hit a couple rides before the mass mobs come. It's totally what I would, do. Anytime that we've ever gone to Disney is to stay on the property.
Yeah, and that's every time we have gone, we stay on property. And in fact, I kind of like staying in the '80s section of the Pop Century Resort. But I like it because I know that they have an arcade and they have some '80s arcade games, and so I will dedicate at least 1 hour to go and playing some Galaga and Pac-Man before I do anything else. That's the kids let me do it. They laugh at me. That's okay.
Yeah,
but I like it because I always try to get the building that has the Pac-Man ghost on it. Anyway,
Beth Ann
weigh it because.
Oh,
well, I mean, so Beth Ann stays off property.
Yeah.
One of my best friends stays off property when he goes. It's all really what you want to do.
Yeah.
And how much time you've got. There are hotels. Some hotels off property are actually closer to the parks than the on-property hotels. So and I need to get a commission. If you get the book, it actually will give you driving times from the hotels to the parks, so you can compare it.
Wow. Oh,
I've done the math, and we've even measured should we drive to Epcot from our hotel on property or take the bus, which would be faster. Sometimes my car gets there faster than the bus would because of the stops they have to make.
Right.
But you will always get to Magic Kingdom faster. No matter where you are on Disney property, you'll always get to Magic Kingdom because the buses will take you straight to the gate instead of to the ticket and travel center. Yeah. The only downside is you don't get to ride the monorail, but take a
I love that.
Ride the monorail. Just go ride it. Park at the hotel and ride the monorail.
We've already had our plan, but next time you're going down, let us know. We'll tag team and we'll go together because you're talking my language. I love this. I love this.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And matter of fact, I've got a friend in Pittsburgh that usually helps me to find some deals. She's one of those Disney authorized travel agents, so she can look and try to find, okay, if you can go 3 days later, you might be able to get free dining plan or something like that. So again, planning in advance saves so much time. But see, once I've got the other stuff lined up, then that gives me time to say, okay, how do we want to get there? And I feel like every time I get in my car, I'm racing in Talladega. So I'm watching cars, and if a car passes me, I say, wait, didn't I just pass that car 5 minutes ago? I don't want to get passed. So that my personal challenge is to drive safely and legally. Don't arrest me. But to try to beat my speed, I want to set the world speed record for getting to Disney World fast. But along the way, then I can also find cool stuff to see. I mentioned the big giant concrete peach. I actually found 2 of those. There's a couple of places, a big giant rocking chair.
Yep.
I mean, there's just stuff to see on the road, and I like weird stuff like that. If I thought I could drive off the road for about 15 minutes and find the man with the world's longest beard, I'd go see him. Because I think it's fun, and say, hey kids, you want to see the man with the world's longest beard? And they'll all roll their eyes. But when they see the man with the world's longest beard, they're going to remember that.
Yeah.
And then when they get old and they get married, we're going to talk about going to Florida. And my girls are going to tell their husband, man, when I was a kid, my dad took us to see the man with the world's longest beard. You're going to remember that.
Right.
Or have that memory.
Yeah.
And again, that's so totally awesome to be able to build memories with our kids. And it's just first roller coasters that our kids ride. They ride with us.
Yeah, I mean,
even at Disney World.
Well, yeah, and it's the same thing with prayer and working on, just that they will remember it, and it's like riding a bike, and you will remember it, and it's just so powerful to have I just love doing stuff with my kids. It's part of why I do what I'm doing here. I can stay with my kids and we can be together, and it's just so great to be able to do something like this and then, sit down and see the kids, an hour later. And I think, it's just, I don't know, vacation for me now, thinking with my kids, goes on to a totally different realm of actually enjoying it, because now you're going through their eyes. Sometimes you're seeing what they see, and then just trying to think maybe what they're really thinking or taking in, because it takes so many times for someone children to understand something or a word, or you have to, it's repetitive, like repetitive prayer, and just keep going. And it's the same thing with anything that they're doing. It takes it some time, and you kind of want to see what the kids are thinking when they see Mickey Mouse. Or for us, it's Frozen, or Elsa and Anna. I mean, can't wait to see them.
Well, and once I noticed that they closed down the Maelstrom ride at Epcot, and the rumor is that they're going to put in some kind of a permanent Frozen attraction there.
So 2015, 16, somewhere in there.
I'm sure it'll be some.
I know we're not gonna miss it.
But they got the dwarves mine train at the Magic Kingdom, and I know where are Anna and Elsa at Epcot? Is that where you have the character meet and greet?
No, I'm pretty sure that's MGM or Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
I know they do the kind of the play at MGM, the fireworks and all that at the end of the day. I know that's one thing that we'll probably check out. But yeah, you're talking my language. I love Disney.
And I could talk Disney all the time.
Yeah.
But and I guess part of the point I was going to make on the vacations was you've actually been making my point for me. Everything that we do at Disney or any vacation that we take has a reflection on our spiritual life. That you've talked about. We've been real explicit when we say, well, we go to a Marian shrine, or we incorporate prayer. But also just the fact that, look how excited you and me are getting talking about Disney World.
Yeah.
Right? And it would be real easy for me to flip that and say, well, how excited did we get about our Catholic faith? And then we go, oh, man, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But there's nothing wrong with being excited about Disney World.
Uh-huh.
It is fantastic. It is an object lesson in capitalism.
Yes.
You're
right. You're right.
Supply and demand.
Yes.
They can rise ticket prices 25% every year, and nobody cares.
The fast pass.
This means I can't go.
The fast pass. That's
jerk us around with the fast pass.
That's money right there. That's
just wait. Just wait until they put the next little feature in, so that you get the most features when you're staying at the deluxe resorts. And you're staying at a value resort, you get like the scraps. It's coming. I'm saying it is.
Yeah.
So I'm Beth, and we triple dog dare you to call in this show.
I know. Come on, Beth Ann, call in, please. You got you can. Yeah. Okay.
If we can take that same kind of excitement about our trip and our vacations, and develop this same kind of passion and excitement about our faith, I think it's what's the word I want to use? It's catching. It's what's the word? When something's catchy, you like, if you get the flu and somebody else gets the flu,
it's contagious.
Contagious. Thank you.
Okay.
So if you can have and just be contagious for Jesus, that people get excited because you're excited about your faith, and you can go to Disney and you can, my kids are all different ages, but we talk about faith stuff. And if I see an object lesson, like waiting in line, and I hate waiting in line.
Yeah.
But we can talk about the virtue of patience.
Yes.
Instead of sitting there with their phones, we can talk about the virtue of patience. we can see maybe we see some people behaving inappropriately. That never happens in a park.
I think Al's on the line. We're gonna.
Oh yeah, we got a phone call.
Yeah, I think we got it on. Al, are you there?
Kind of here.
Can you hear Al? Al?
Hello?
Hello? Hello, Al. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Can you hear us? No?
Hello?
Oh,
Say it
can you hear
again.
now?
Yeah,
How about
I
now?
can hear you.
Okay,
No,
there.
I had a question for you. I thought I would call in. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah. I just wanted to know, you had mentioned, Andy, about, that sensitive issue of telling people, hey, if you miss Mass, it's a mortal sin. Like that whole, instructing the ignorant. How many people forget about their family devotions, their prayers, and that it's a sin to miss Mass? Like, do you get violent people on the other end when you tell them that? I'll hang up and listen to your call or listen to your answer, but it is one of these difficult, awkward moments when we have to approach our fellow Catholics to say, you're not going to forget the sacrament of Mass, or going to confession if you're away for 3 weeks on vacation. Still want to get to confession. So, again, it's just our opportunity to evangelize, but, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, no, you're totally right, because, how many, when we look at the precepts of the church and the things that if a Catholic were looking for what is the bare minimum that I have to do to be a good Catholic, and what are the precepts? I don't even have them all memorized, but the big one is that you'll attend Mass on all Sundays and holy days of obligation. And Sunday is a holy day of obligation. So it doesn't matter if you are in Timbuktu, if there is somewhere where Mass is being said, you have a moral obligation to be there. And the thing that kind of cheeses me off is when people look at Mass as, gosh, folks, does it have to be seen as an obligation? The church is telling you that it's an obligation because you need to see the gravity of it. But you should love going to Mass. And I don't care what your priest talks about, if he's a good preacher or a bad preacher, if he's funny or not funny, or tall or short or fat or skinny, or the music's good or bad. I could care less, because you know what? We're not there for him. We're not there for the lady in the feather hat sitting in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're there for Jesus and to receive the Eucharist. So, go to Mass. And if you miss Mass, don't try to justify it, and try to say, well, there wasn't one close by or whatever. Look, you're in America. If you're somewhere out where there aren't any Catholic churches, we can talk about your culpability there. But if you're in America, you can't get to a Mass, it's because you're not looking. And if you miss, that's mortal sin, because you know that you're not supposed to miss Mass. So go to confession. And just the fact that people have a big hang up about Mass and the sacrament of reconciliation. Do you know what we get in the sacraments? The grace that we receive? Why would you not want to run? If they were giving $10 bills away down the street, you'd break your neck trying to get down there. And Jesus has given us so much more than $10 bills. He's given us his very life. He's given us his love, his forgiveness, his grace, communion with the God who created the world, the entire universe. How is that not better than a $10 bill? Only our carnal attractions to this world makes it even seem like that's a competition. So get the Mass, get the Mass. And if you miss, go to confession, because God doesn't want you to stay away. He wants you to come to Mass, and he wants you to be able to use experiences like vacations to get to know him better. You don't have to spend your entire 2-week vacation or 1-week vacation or 4 days. You don't have to spend that whole time sitting in a cave praying a rosary. But why not bring a rosary? Why not get one of those cool CDs and pray a rosary in the car while you drive?
Yeah.
Most steering wheels have the little knob thingies, the little bumps.
Yep.
That's where I count my decades.
That's awesome.
I use those to remember where I'm at. But my kids and my wife, or whoever's not driving, they can use their rosaries. So, it's just something that we do. But again, these are experiences that we can all share together as a family. And Al, you made an awesome point too. Hey, if you're on vacation and you're out of town, that priest doesn't know who you are. So if you were ever nervous about going to confession,
yes,
you have even more anonymity, but that man you may never see again. So, but I'm not saying, don't store up your sins until you go out of town. But that is kind of a good motivation. If you're out of town, why not go to confession?
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I was when I was younger. That was one of those. He doesn't know me, so I feel comfortable there, and so I'm just going to talk to him and get that grace. And that's a great point too, Al.
Well, there's always a negative side to vacations, so let's talk about that for a second. Worst vacation that you ever had? Can you say anything about it?
Yeah, we were camping. And we had a flat tire, and I was probably around 13 or so, and it was dark, and we had a flat tire right in front of this. It looked like a mansion as a young kid. It just looked like a mansion, and somehow we found someone. My mom and my aunt came into the car. We had, it was very surreal, but we got back to the campground. We got our car fixed, but it was without a doubt the scariest and just a bad vacation. I love camping, but I will always remember that for the bad part, not the great part about camping. So that's my.
Well, and that brings it up. I was thinking about the very first time that I went to Disney. It wasn't like a nightmare vacation, but it's the first time that I had gone as an adult to Disney World. And so this was before they took gratuity out of the dining plan. So the dining plan was awesome.
Yeah.
Because everything was included. We were eating like $300 dinners for $90 and stuff. So that part was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do everything. And so I was pushing the kids.
You can't
so we could get there at park opening. And now I can't recommend that children watch National Lampoon's Vacation because there is some inappropriate stuff.
Right.
But adults, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you watched that movie as a kid, you had one view of it. And you watch it now as an adult, especially dads, and you kind of see yourself as Clark Griswold. You think, you start pushing that vacation into something that it wasn't intended to be.
Right.
And if you hit that wall, you've pushed too hard. You need to learn to chill out because again, you're on vacation.
I know.
And
you don't want another vacation.
So you might not get to ride Space Mountain. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay if you have to miss Space Mountain one time or you didn't get to ride the teacups, whatever. You're disappointed, but it's okay. The world will go on. You'll still pay taxes. You're still going to pay the resort fees and all the other great stuff that come along with your vacation. But yeah, the major lesson that we learned from that first trip was to take a break day. Yeah. Because we were there for 4 days and we went straight parks every day, park. And my kids were exhausted and they were all grumpy and we were grumpy because we wanted to see stuff. And we learned just to throw a break day in there where we're not going to a park. We're going to go swim in the pool. We're going to, I think we even went to downtown Disney and just walked around at the Lego store and stuff. So just take it easy when you go to Disney. It'll still be there. There's plenty of ways to part with your money and plenty of ways to chill out. There's nothing at that Disney mega resort that's not done with top customer service and a lot of fun.
Yeah, my opinion.
Even the stores.
Yeah, my opinion is you go early. You get a nap around 11 o'clock, noonish. You eat lunch and then take a nap. and then go back out for the evening and for the fireworks. I mean, that's how we've done it all the time, and it works. But you do need a break, or you're just gonna burn yourself out, and you're gonna need another vacation. So yeah,
take a break. And let me say this too about Epcot. Yeah, I love Epcot. That's kind of my favorite part because I like the Spaceship Earth, and I like going to all the little countries, especially in the spring and in the fall when they have the food and wine and the garden and flower expos going on at those different times. If you go during the food and wine, there are little booths from all these other countries that aren't there normally, and you can try foods from everywhere, from really exotic stuff to kind of Americanized mishmash stuff that's just cool to try. But I did notice the last time we were there for food and wine, and this is where my point of wisdom comes. There are a lot of people that like to play a drinking game at Epcot World Showcase, and they try to drink around the world. And so whenever they go to a country, they have an adult beverage. If you go during the Food and Wine Festival, don't play that game because you won't make it. You won't make it past Mexico. You're gonna just be laying on the ground, and then you're going to be useless the rest of the trip. And so, I know I've got friends some friends and family that are teetotalers. I'm not advising that anybody drink, and I'm not trying to tell you, not to do anything like that. But if you chose to do that, exercise responsibility and don't be a moron, especially if you got kids with you. I mean, come on, just there's plenty of other ways to make a fool out of yourself than getting hammered in the middle of the happiest place on earth. But if you're there, and Beth Ann, totally right.
Talking about
if you're there,
the food,
eat some of those cool foods.
The food. Beth Ann is right.
Eat them, and get a churro. Get a churro in Mexico and just walk around with it because they're good.
They are.
Churros are fantastic.
No,
I gotta complain about the food prices there are exorbitant. But again, if I'm on vacation and I've saved up enough money to go to Orlando, I don't want to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm going to eat a churro, and I'm probably going to eat some fish and chips, or if I'm at Epcot, who knows what I'll eat. But I want to try to eat something at least kind of theme parky, or something that I'm not normally eating. So that's the thing. Oh, really? I got to read this because if you're listening, you don't know. You're not seeing this
go
chat.
Ahead, read the
But Al, you are. Al wrestled at 115 pounds as a sophomore and 127 through the rest of his high school career. And he said he's talking about fireman's carry being his favorite takedown move. And you say you wrestle at 240. I'm not going to say that. Ow. Shameful. But you know what's funny? I wrestled at 145 pounds my sophomore year, and 152 and 160 the rest of my high school. And now I'm 240. So wrestling is my sport. Matter of fact, I've got a show lined up. We're going to do nothing but talk about wrestling and fighting, and I'm going to completely tie that to Moses.
Awesome.
Moses didn't wrestle anybody, but I'm going to tie it to Moses, and then for a special added bonus, I'm going to wrestle Al.
I would love to see that.
We're going to wear the same weight class. So we're going to wrestle each other for the intergalactic title. So I don't know how we'll accomplish that, being he's up in Canada and I'm down here in America. So it definitely will be the championship of a lifetime.
Yeah, you got.
Go ahead and start your training now, because I'm coaching now.
Well, he has Corey Robinson up there. You got to watch out for.
That's right. Corey's up in Canada.
He's at EWTN, and definitely he's been on our network, and great guy.
Well, it's nice to have that. I don't have any coaches around here that are in our Catholic network. I got to fix that. I know some Catholic coaches. I just don't know them personally. I'll fix that. and then we can have coaches stand in the corner and they can tell us what to do, just like the real thing.
It's the fiat title, is what Al said.
We'll go for the fiat title, make a belt and
I was
everything.
taking that in the chat room.
Well, maybe can we use tables, ladders, and chairs?
Ooh, I don't know. No, that's not Catholic. Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Did we go I quit match? Tables, ladders, and chairs.
But
that's what I really was hoping that's what wrestling was going to be when I started. I really hoped that it would be just like TV.
It's not.
It is not.
No.
Totally bring your manager. Bring your manager. I'm going to bring mine, and my manager carries a boot with lead in the toes. And I am in Memphis. I'll get Jerry Lawler.
I know. And, that was famous.
Jerry Lawler is a Catholic. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I did not. I
was
was totally.
To out Jerry is a Catholic, but my friends have seen him at Mass multiple times.
I mean, I was totally shocked about the whole thing about him with a heart attack on a live.
Oh yeah, yeah, wasn't that crazy?
And everything down in Memphis and with Andy Kaufman and all that. I mean, one of the craziest, routines that they ever made up, and he was part of it. And
that was fantastic.
Yeah,
and kind of it brought more attention to Memphis. Yeah, yes. We'll definitely do a wrestling show.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll do a pro wrestling show and we'll do a real wrestling show.
Where are we going to get into the Catholic part with a pro wrestling? Where is that?
You wait till I do it. You're going to flip your lid when I tie. I can't. I'm not going to spoil it tonight.
Okay, we'll tie
it back to the church.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah,
that will be awesome.
Yeah, and I've been at Pro Wrestling Free now for almost 2 years. I almost watched it the other night. I had a weak moment, but I haven't watched pro wrestling in almost 2 years, and I kind of miss it because I miss the soap opera part, the stories.
Yeah,
but I don't miss some of the other things, so it's okay. Yeah. And for the record, my favorite wrestler is Chris Jericho. Also Canadian.
Yes, he is. There's a lot of Canadians.
A lot of Canadian wrestlers.
A lot of Canadian wrestlers.
So, with your, what's your coffee and donut place up there? In your hockey?
Tim Hortons. That's up at, yeah.
Tim Hortons.
The only one is in Erie for us. We don't have it over in Cleveland area. I don't think we might have one or two, but Tim Hortons kind of is trickling up to Canada, and then it came down to Erie just because of the. I think Al will know about the otters, Erie otters, and I think that's part of why Tim Hortons came down here. But
just an invasion from the north.
I know. There you go, Al. Yep, Tim Hortons.
I'm not trying to say fighting words, but I've always believed that Canada was America's hat. Sitting right up there on top.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I got lots of friends up in Canada. Any Canadian wrestlers that want to sponsor me up to Canada, I would love to come. That'd be fine, and you can teach me how to talk Canadian. Yeah, that will be a great family vacation.
Yeah, there you go.
My whole family up to Canada. We could go moose hunting.
Yeah,
or something.
Fishing. I would say always the fishing.
Yeah, I do not have a criminal record that I know of. I'm pretty sure I would know. Yeah. And I have been to Canada. I've actually been to Canada, but I was in Windsor. I went over from Detroit into Windsor for we were in Detroit doing some mission work. So we said, "Hey, do you want to go to Canada?" And everybody piled in the van, and we drove to Canada.
Yeah.
And that actually got part of the record for being a bad trip, because we were idiots. When the Mounties stopped us at the border, they said, "Do you have anything to declare?" And I didn't know what that meant because I was 16. And so me and two buddies just started saying, USA, USA, USA. I'm sure they were saying, idiot Americans, just get into Canada and spend some money.
Yeah.
So, that was my bad experience in Canada. Just they had to think that we were but it was cool. I mean, I got to go into Canada, so
Yeah,
my first out of the Americas, out of United States of America experience.
it's a great. I mean, and there's a lot of stuff up there. I mean, now with you have to have a passport and all that. It's kind of tough. Yeah, I mean, you just pay the money to get the passport, but it's just it was nice just to go up and without having to worry about that. But yeah, going over to Niagara Falls, it's just beautiful. I mean, that's just another, what God created. Oh man, it's just amazing. So
well, and that's the other part I was going to say about vacations too. See, I like how you're working with me on this show. You're getting my telepathy.
yes,
So if for some reason you don't want to go to Disney World, why, I don't know why, but if you didn't want to go to Disney World and you happen to live in the United States of America, there are so many cool places to be able to go. And really for the little more than the cost of gas,
right.
You can go see some amazing things here. To be able to go to a state park, to a national park. We've got land here in the U.S. that is set aside just for you to go see, just for you to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I was researching some colleges, trying to get my kid ready for college, and I found Wyoming Catholic. And have you heard of this school, Kent?
No.
Wyoming Catholic. Their curriculum is based on classics. It's classical education, liberal arts education. But if you look at where they're located, they are smack dab in the middle of some amazing country. So it's in Wyoming, but if you look to the west, Great Salt Lake, Grand Tetons. If you go a little northwest, Yellowstone is there. If you go east, you're in at Mount Rushmore in the Badlands. I mean, could you pick a place that's closer to so many cool things? So I would like to visit that campus just so that I could go see the country.
Yeah.
So, I mean that, and I have some friends that are actually considering that school. That's a cool place. And I actually, since I brought it up, I want to talk about Catholic colleges for just a minute.
Yeah.
We'll maybe we can do a show about it later. But if you'll notice that schools like Wyoming, John Paul the Great out in San Diego, University of Dallas in Dallas, Texas, there are, I want to call them the new breed, but kind of these newer Catholic colleges that have popped up that are totally faithful to the magisterium of the church, but are doing things they're not living in a Catholic bubble, as I like to say. You're not in an environment where, you just live in this sheltered little area, and then once you graduate, good luck facing the cool, dark, evil world. These folks are learning the very best methods and academics to be able to interact with the world and engage the culture that we live in, because we don't live in a bubble. You and I don't live in a bubble. We don't work in a bubble. We live in the real world with real people, and everybody doesn't think like us. So, if it would be real easy for me to put on, to make sure I'm wearing my scapular outside of my shirt, and I got 20 saint medals around my neck, and I've got a big, awesome henna tattoo of the Blessed Mother on my arm, or whatever, that I'm trying to advertise my faith. But I'm going to walk into a workplace that in some places is either going to say they're offended by my faith, or is going to say, I could care less about your faith, or is part of another faith that wants to convert me to their religion. And to be able to go to a school where I'm learning good for business, for example, absolutely awesome business skills that I can apply no matter where I'm working, not just in a Catholic setting, then when I go and I'm doing a good job as a business person, or if I get a degree in art and I'm making good art, then I have earned the right to be heard by other people by virtue of the goodness of my work. And people, I think people, especially in Christian circles for whatever, they want to buy the stuff with the Jesus fish on it just because it's got the Jesus fish on it, and not necessarily because it's good art or good work. And so I like that these colleges are making good students that can engage the world and meet it head on with good science, good art, good everything. Our Lady Seat of Wisdom.
Yep.
In where is this? In Ontario.
Ontario.
Do they let Americans go to college in Canada up there? Excellence in Catholic higher education. See, I may have to check it out. So, oh my goodness, $8,000. Is that in Canadian monopoly money, or is that U.S. dollars? So I'm just joking. I love ragging on Canadians. And they do the same. I'm sure they do the same thing with us. Oh, your money's green. Whatever.
It's still paper.
A cool college to check out. So yeah, check out the. I'm not saying don't look at the older schools. Don't look at Christendom and Steubenville or some of the other good schools. Look at all of them.
Yeah.
But I think that all the schools can take a page out of what the newer schools are doing and learn from it, because the way that they're engaging the culture is working really well.
Yeah.
And I will say, I've got kind of an affinity for JP Catholic in San Diego. If you look at JP Catholic and what they're doing, especially from the media side, these kids are developing movies that are getting national attention, not because they've got the Jesus fish on them, but because they're good movies, they're good art, and people are standing up and taking notice. It's kind of cool that we're seeing this and saying, oh, by the way, these people are Catholic, and unashamedly so. You don't have to say Jesus every other word to make art that is glorifying to God, because God is honored with the work of our hands. If we are hard workers and we produce things of beauty, that's a way that we can honor God, and that's a way that we can also share the faith. And again, just going back to being excited about Disney World, if we're excited about the things that we do and excited about our faith, it's going to come through in everything that we touch, everything that we say, and everywhere that we go. Our faith will be visible, whether we're wearing Jesus clothes or not.
Right. And I just want to we're about calling it night. I just want to let everybody know about Joe Miller's show. We're going to have a guest host, Joan Paley, and Igor, and this is his website, and he's right now the only known, I think this is the right statement, that has a artwork in the Vatican that's alive. So she's going to be guest hosting for Joe, and there's just some of the artwork that he's done. A lot of political leaders. I know for a fact, just a side note, Regis Philbin, he was on his show and did artwork for Regis. And so he'll be talking about how painting and being part of, just meeting the popes and being able to paint just to put any kind of artwork in the Vatican. And so we'll have him coming up this weekend, Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. And this was fun. I had a fun time.
I ended up throwing half of my notes on the floor, but that's okay, because that's why I like doing the shows live, that we can talk.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Al called in, and I want more people to call in. And this is my closing appeal before I close the show with prayer. The best way that you can help this show out, in all the shows on Fiat Ministry Network, is to tell people about them. If you're having fun, if you're sitting at home thinking, man, the guy actually said USA, USA when he went into Canada, that was what he had to declare. Tell somebody to come and check out this show with you next time. because we think that by being entertaining and by talking about things, we can also share our faith. And as you've noticed from our conversation, this, even the weird gimmicky stuff that we've talked about, it relates to our Catholic faith.
Right.
And that's what it means to have a fully integrated Catholic life. It's not compartmentalized. It's part of who I am. It's so when I talk about pro wrestling, I can relate it back to the Catholic faith, Doctor Who, and everything else. So you're the best way you can help us is to visit the site, interact with us, and bring your friends to it. Ken had put up the Amazon link. If you're going to be shopping on Amazon, then go to Amazon and use this link that's here. Let me see if I can point to it.
Yep, right there. You're doing good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
the magic of Hollywood.
Yeah, there's a link right above the video that you're watching right now, or there will be a link that's flashing differently, but it'll say Amazon, and click on that, and yep. Go ahead.
If you're going to buy something anyway, then you can help us out by going there, and that helps us to be able to pay for the bandwidth and the things that we're trying to do. Because, hey, as you keep bringing your friends on here and helping our audience to grow, it does cost a little bit more to run the site. And, it's a lot easier for you to bring more people in here and to kind of increase our traffic that way than for us to pay for advertising, because we're doing this because we love it. So come back. And, and if you need to buy some books, you want to buy some Archbishop Fulton Sheen,
yes.
Servant of God, Fulton Sheen. Yes. So you need to get a new Bible or catechism. And if I ever publish a book, I'm sure you could get that on Amazon too, but we're not there yet. If you want to buy the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World, you can buy that. As a matter of fact, the 2015 book came out in August, so it's already available. You can buy it now. It's probably about $19. So support us any way that you can. It would really help us if you'll bring some visitors on and encourage people. And for Pete's sake, call us.
Yes. Yeah, please call.
Beth, we totally beat you because we triple dog dared you. You never called. That's too bad. Next time call, and somebody else call, and somebody else call, and somebody else call.
Yeah, we'll have
I would love to crash. It sounds bad, but I would love to crash this site.
Yeah, crash it. Yeah.
I want so many visitors that we crash it.
That would be great.
That would be a blast.
No, that would be great. I would love to have a crash.
Podcast.
I can still record it.
Yeah, so whatever. That's fine. So let's close in prayer,
sure.
And then Ken will take us out.
Yep.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Yeah.
Jesus, thank you for tonight. And we have so much fun talking about Mickey Mouse and Disney World and traveling, and just we were all over the place tonight, but I had fun. And I really am grateful that you've given us this chance to be here on Fiat Ministry Network, and we thank you for letting us have the great guests that we have, and the great people that we have interacting with us in the chat and on the Twitter and on our Facebook page. Just thank you for everybody, and we pray that you'll please bless us, keep us safe as we go to work or school tomorrow, and help us to be able to share your love, especially with the people that need to see it the most. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Amen. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. Thanks for staying. Thank you for joining us on the Tactical Catholic Podcast, a presentation of the Fiat Ministry Network. Visit us on the web at www.fiatministrynetwork.tv. Good night and God bless.